to the cloud. Hello. Welcome to our movie club. Today we are going to discuss a movie, Down Periscope, right? Down Periscope, 1996. So we continue the topic of submarines and brave naval officers. Yes. Before we start, let me ask, Vova, can I ask you, please? What is a periscope? Can you tell us?
This is
a device.
It's a pipe connected with submarine.
Okay.
It have mirrors and you can look into it.
Okay.
What else?
And you can rotate.
You can rotate it, right? Right. And why we use periscopes?
To look what.
So it's a secret way, right? It's a secret way to sneak what is happening on the surface without showing the boat, right? So because the main weapon of submarine is, if I'm right, is
stealth.
Stealth, right? Stealth submarine. We don't show it. We hide it. That's the power of it. Okay. So, usually, how big can be? How long can be periscope? So it's 5 meters, or I don't know how big.
We usually raise it 65 feet underwater. So that's about 20 meters or so.
Well, so it's a huge pipe, I would say.
Somewhat long, yeah.
Okay. Hello, Sergey. Sergey, we just described what is a periscope, so you did not miss much. Do you know what it is?
Yes, I know.
Okay. Could you please describe to us what it is?
Periscope is a device for watching above water of the submarine, and the periscope moving device. And if you want to see above water without, if you want to watch above water, you will up the periscope.
On the surface, right? And secretly look what is happening now. Okay. But why we need periscope? Why we cannot just raise the
because we have to cover a submarine above water without I don't know how to do it.
I don't know. So, usually we can submerge a submarine, right? And when we go up, how we call it?
Surface.
Okay, submersion surface. So we don't want to surface submarine. Why, Sergey? Why we don't want to surface it?
Because the main weapon of submarine is cover.
It's stealth, right? Very good. You just repeated what we what we discussed before. So you knew everything. Very good. Dive. Surface. It's how it's an order, right?
Right.
Dive.
Surface.
Yes. And what people do when they hear dive? They close all these windows.
We've done that long before we dive. Now, when we say we've already made all the preparations. We don't give that command until everything's ready to go underwater. All the openings are closed. We've checked all that. I was responsible for checking every valve all over the ship before we dive. Until I said we are rigged for dive, we would not dive.
Okay, good expression. Rigged for dive. It's mean ready, fixed, or something like.
Yeah, all prepared. Yep, rigged for silence. Yeah.
Is it only for military, or we can say we usually say we all set, right? We all set for traveling, something like we rigged for traveling.
Rigged. No, we wouldn't say it that way. Rigged means you have to do some kind of a physical equipment lineup.
Okay. So I do some preparation and they say my car is rigged for Russian winter, for instance. So
Yeah, that might work. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, Vova, please, could you please start with the cast? Who are the characters of the movie? Okay, let me copy, or you can copy by yourself.
Tom Dodge.
Tom Dodge.
Nice. All
Tom
right.
Dodge. It's a commander,
Commander, captain, right?
captain.
He's actually a lieutenant commander, but on a ship, the boss is called the captain by tradition. So he's called captain or skipper, even if his rank is not captain.
I see.
So he's a lieutenant commander, which is a lower level of commander. Okay.
Okay.
Emily Lake.
Mhm.
It's officer who Emily Lake. It's officer who say
Diving officer, right?
diving officer.
I was the diving officer on my submarine.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Who else? Vova?
Marty. It's was officer that want to do a mutiny.
Mutiny, right?
Mutiny.
Okay.
Oh, mutiny, the the executive officer. Okay.
It's like an assistant for captain, right? Who
Yep.
looks that everything is done accordingly the order. Okay, according to the
Yep.
order.
You'll always be an XO before you become a CO. It's kind of a career progression.
And let me ask you a question. So our Tom Dodge, he was a executive officer on Orlando, right? Before his captainship.
On a different ship. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I see.
So
Okay, well,
yep. Go ahead. That's all right.
Well, let me help you. So we have two admirals, right? One is vice admiral and another one rear admiral. And it's just a rank, right? Vice admiral is higher than rear admiral, right? One is 3 stars, another is, I don't know, 2 star.
2 stars, yeah.
Okay.
I
And
see.
they preparing like a kind of a war game. Leila, do you know what is a war game? Leila, could you tell us? You're muted. Probably you're telling us, but we don't hear. Okay, let's ask someone else. Lasans, what is a war game?
No, I don't know.
Let me ask Sergey. I know that Sergey knows.
You never played Army when you were a kid, Asant? You never played Army? Army, 2 armies, or snowball fights and dart guns.
Yeah, we used to play with the toy guns, but we didn't.
That's a war game.
Okay.
Okay. That's a war game.
But what is a war game in military service? Leila, would you like to answer?
I don't know.
Okay, let me ask an expert. Sergey, what is a war game in military?
War game is a simulation of real war. When commander told your team will be blue, your team will be green. Green hate blue. Please go out and fight. And after fighting, commander analyzed what's happened, and they describe mistakes and the good actions, and
Very good.
they made a repetition because if you don't have a simulation of real war, when real war will came, you will have
will come. Yeah. So it's just a training, right? You will not start a real war just to train your soldiers, right? So you,
So,
you,
but is it
yeah,
like military exercise or something like that?
yes, kind of.
It's exactly, yeah. You have some ships you call the good guys, and some ships you call the bad guys, and you actually go out into the ocean and you try to find each other. And when you do, you try to sink each other with dummy torpedoes and dummy shells. You shoot.
Okay.
You actually shoot weapons, but they're not explosive.
Oh.
I was in some war games, so I know the sound of a torpedo in the water coming toward my submarine. It sounds like you're dead. It sounds just like somebody clapping outside the hull. Yeah.
And allegedly, it's very useful, right? Because everything is learning during the war game. So soldiers, officers, admirals, they all doing their job and they're learning. So war game is very, very useful. I don't know how in different countries, but in Russia, I know we have one huge war game at least a year. So it's and it's huge. It's not like two submarines or something. It's like, you know, the whole army divided by half and say you are an enemy now and please let's the game begin.
And when we confront the enemy, maybe unexpectedly or planned, to prepare, we'll say battle stations, battle stations. That means everybody goes to their place for fighting. They go to their station where we're going to shoot weapons and dive and do crazy maneuvers. So when you say battle stations, that means get ready to fight.
Yep. Go to your place and do your job, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so set of the movie, right? So what do we have? We have a war game which organized by one of this, I believe, rear admiral, right? He was rear admiral. He was in charge of this game, and the game is actually not like a game without rules, like in the real war. It has some legend, if I can so it has some like kind of circumstances. So we define that you will be defenders of something, you will be attackers, for instance, and your goal is to defend, your goal is to attack, you have to stay in this region, you have to use this something. So a lot of rules. So this rear admiral, he kind of rigged the rules, right? He kind of cheated. He tried to make one team like in a better position, like handicapped. Can we say so?
Yeah, he made the battle area smaller so the submarine couldn't hide as easily.
Right.
He gave Dodge an old diesel submarine, not a nuclear submarine, but an old diesel submarine. He picked a crew for the submarine, and he picked a bunch of idiots and buffoons and troublemakers and said, "Here's your crew." So he tried to really weigh the game against Dodge.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're playing,
let's even put a woman on your submarine just to make things interesting.
So if you're playing hide and seek, right? If the region where you can hide is huge, you are how we say a winner, right? How we call
you have an advantage. Yeah.
Advantage, right? You have an advantage. But if the area is small like this, so you will be found easily.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, speaking about submarine and the crew, Vasant, could you please describe this submarine and Tom as a captain, if you will?
Yeah. Tom was expecting a nuclear submarine to her because it was his dream and he was expecting that. But surprisingly, the superior officer gave him the old diesel engine, and the crew members were handpicked by the superior officer, and all of them are so different in their own way. And how to say that? Overall, if you look at them, you would not believe that they are fit to be in that nuclear, in the submarine. So everybody has their.
Yeah, we call them misfits. They don't
Ah, yeah.
fit.
Yeah, misfits, and they create chaos every time. They do not have the rapport between them. So many struggles within the team, but he managed to get them all together to complete the mission. So many funny incidents when they recruit the crew members.
Yeah, take one. So describe one of the members of the crew, your favorite one.
My favorite is the Sonar. Is that right? He overhears everybody. Even he hushes to his assistant. He hear that and he say that he replies. He gave a reply. And even in the end, he is like he heard what captain said and like, okay, I heard that, captain. I would not. I try not to overdo it. You know, so it was fun. Yeah.
It's interesting, but I actually don't understand what was wrong with him. You know, so all of the crew will like usually say the misfits, right? They are useless. But this guy, he looked well. What was wrong with him?
His behavior was kind of, no confidence. He acted kind of a little bit retarded in a way, but he was almost autistic, but he was very good. Yeah.
Sergey, what is your favorite member of the crew? Please describe one.
My favorite member is electric engineer who connected some wires using his body. Please connect me with vice president. Oh my God. Yeah. I like it.
He became a human wire. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you understand what does it mean
Yes,
when you?
yes.
Yes. So he felt like hard. He was hard because of this, right?
I did understand.
Yeah. Well, what is your favorite member of the crew? Choose one. Okay, just describe someone. A cook, for instance.
My favorite member of a crew is electrician.
As well. Okay, but Sergey took him already. Okay, well,
Okay.
please describe someone else. What about this, cook? Do you remember him?
Yes.
He is in the cast. It says cook of second class. So what does mean second class? Well, do you understand?
The cook is not very good.
Exactly. Exactly. I remember he was smoking and he was, what's the word for this?
Tapping his ashes.
Tapping his ashes into this into the food. Yeah, strange behavior. And I remember how he was sorting all these jars and things and put together lard, coffee. It's funny. And I remember there was another episode when executive officer checked something and say, this lard was good until 1966 or something. So why do you use it? And he tested it and said, still okay, don't worry. Vasant, please.
Yes, I like the moment when he was yelling at him, saying that I found a fingernail in the food, and yesterday it was a hand. It's a band-aid, is that right? Then he said, like, sir, the band-aid was holding the fingernail, sir. So technically, if he is lying, technically he is serving the same food from yesterday. Is that right? So yeah, so very funny.
Gross. Nasty.
Okay, so I can describe this female officer, diving officer, right? She was sent to the submarine, I guess, to make the situation more tense, right? Because at the beginning, Captain Tom, right? He was just joking about this, right? He said, we have a diving officer aboard, and he looked at her and say, "Oh, I like this party with strippers and all these things. So we enjoy your presence," something like this. And as far as I understand, on the submarine there is a very few space, right? There is it's not big one, so there is no like separate, how we call it, room for a lady, right?
Yeah.
And it was a problem, Leila, for her, because she you've got Gerard. she used to live in torpedo room or something.
Torpedo room. Yeah. They gave her a little curtained area.
So my
Yeah.
question is
Yes.
it allowed for a woman could join the Navy?
In the old days, not in a warship capacity. They were like in hospitals and offices. Today, I don't know.
Gerard, I mute you because we have a lot of noise from your side. I muted you because of the noise. Leila, I don't know about Russian army. Technically, there is no restriction for women, so they can serve, as far as I know. But in fact, we have only very few of them, and most of the women in Russian army, they are inside the cabinets. What we say, they are like managing the process. So not in the, how we call it, war department. They are mostly in
Cooks.
cooks. Sometimes they are manager of something, manager of I don't know, some commander roles.
It's the same here, but I just can't think of a lady on her own with a lot of men on a submarine. It might be difficult.
Yes.
Yeah, submarine, I can't see it. An aircraft carrier or a large surface ship, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so it's if the ship is huge, you can make a different room, right, for women. Hello, Gerard.
Hello. No.
Gerard, you have sound with a lot of noise today, probably of your mic or something. Maybe just a level, of how
Yeah, the level. I think it's the level of the mic. Moment.
Yes, it's getting better. Yeah,
better. Yeah.
Okay, Gerard, we are talking about this crew in the submarine. We are describing our favorite members. Do you have one? Could you please describe this executive officer? We did not cover him yet.
Executive officer. What do you mean? The
Assistant.
That more with the mustache.
Yes.
And so pathetic. It was very annoying. Nobody liked him, and he eventually was thrown out from the boat, from the submarine.
Right. I guess he considers this submarine like a big problem for his career, right? That was why he was so worried, and he tried to, I don't know, fix that cannot be fixed. Yeah. Can't tolerate mistakes.
I think he thought about him better than he really was, because if he was in the crew with the submarine, that means that he was not very good by his superiors.
Really, yes, and they had this dialogue with the captain, right? So we have the worst crew in the Navy. So, and why I'm here? And captain is, and why I'm here?
Logic answer.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay,
They're
let's
all
go.
lousy, but why am I here? Yeah. Liberal. He's a good liberal. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the goal. So, what was the goal of this submarine in this war game? Masans, do you remember? What they supposed to do?
To find the target.
Yeah, and what was the target?
I don't know. Is that a warship or something? No, warship.
So we have, I guess, Tishalin, is Norfolk is a kind of a military base or just a town?
It's a Navy base, but it's a city also. We call it a Navy city. It's a city with a Navy base.
Okay, so there is on the coast there is a navy city with a harbor, and there are ships in the harbor, and they put like a dummy ship, not maybe rusty, maybe I don't know, something old. So the goal of this Tom's crew was to secretly like invade, right, the port, and to shoot this dummy ship. And they mentioned something about Russian military base in Vladivostok or something, but I did not get the idea. Sergey, did you? So why they compare this?
I think that's, I know in Crimea we have a Balaclava city where we have a mountain inside the garage for submarines, Murmansk and Arkhangelsk and Vladivostok. There are places for submarines.
So they just was, so this war game was a training, you know, to invade Murmansk, you say, or something.
Yeah, in we have training in North Ocean, and we have in Black Sea and in Pacific Ocean, New Vladivostok and Nakhodka.
Yeah, so it was like, well, do you understand? It was like a real operation, you know, it was similar to what would help in a real war between, let's say, USSR or something, but they doing like on their territory, in American territory. So that's the reason.
Okay. Thanks, Ivan.
I just wanted to make you talk. That's all.
Thank you. Very kind of you.
Okay, operation areas, Pacific Ocean. Okay. So, and who was their opponents? Gerard, do you remember who was their opponents?
Other officer. There was another officer who hated the commander very much and wanted him to not succeed, to fail the game.
So it was a modern, huge submarine, nuclear base, probably with the support of how we call it, aircrafts, right? And destroyers, yeah. So mission was no go from the beginning, right?
Very difficult.
Very difficult. Boa, and how they hid their submarine, how they reached the goal, how they reached the port. Do you remember?
They was
in disguise, maybe, right? Can you say disguise in the mask? So they pretended they are fishermen, right?
yes.
How did they pretend? What they did for this? Okay, let me help you. So the main like, so you cannot find a submarine by radar, right? You have to use sonar. So we discussed this on this one of our class. So you have to listen what is happening there, and the weather was bad, like it was a storming weather. You cannot see well on the surface. So you listen, and they pretended they are drunk team of some fisher boat. they sing some songs. So, and Captain of Orlando was what's the word for this? Was
Fooled or tricked or deceived.
Tricked, yeah, deceived. Yeah, very good. Was deceived by this. Okay.
So you got two submarines. The bad guys heard the good guy heard Dodge's submarine. I think we got a sub. So Dodge had his men sing songs like they were drunk fishermen. So the Orlando sonar guy said, "Oh no, it's just a fishing boat. They're just singing and they're drunk. It's not a submarine."
Yeah, it's interesting that people on this submarine, Orlando, even don't think about the trick, right? So they would not imagine that a military guy they will drink like drink and sing some songs, right? It's interesting.
So instead of rigging for silence, they rigged for drunken revelry.
Yeah. So it was a like first stage of war game. Am I right? It was so they managed to shoot this dummy boat. And if I'm right, correct me if I'm wrong, because I did not get that well. So there was a part 2. They need to escape, right, from the port. Or what was the part
Well,
2?
I think they just had an exercise in the ocean. I can't remember.
Okay, exercise in the ocean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you do remember the circumstances? What was the exercise in the ocean? What they supposed to do? So like part 2 of this war game. Sergey, do you remember?
The part 2 is the goal of part 2. It's a killing of lot of sheep, and they have to go inside a harbor, and they have to send 2 torpedoes to these ships. But the counter-admiral reduce the place of battleship, and they have to use new tricks for going inside a harbor.
Yeah. Vasans, do you remember what was the trick? How they managed to deceive all these 5 destroyers and aircraft? How they managed to hide?
They went under the warship. Exactly. So that they couldn't use their sonar to get their location. And
Yeah, I can help. So in this like area, operation area, there was a lot of military ships and 1 huge tanker. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Sergey, what is a tanker?
The tanker is a ship who transportation the liquid cargo, oil, diesel, etc.
Mm-hmm. And how big are they?
I thought it's 500 meters, maybe more, because we remember the case in Suez Canal when cargo ships closed the Suez Canal, and this ship was 450 meters length and 50 or 60 meters. It's other definition. And tanker usually is more huge than
huge.
cargo ships.
Yeah. I don't know about the size, but I remember that these tankers they used to transfer like millions of barrels or something.
Yeah,
so it's like
yeah. And
it was like.
I wanted to tell that imagine you are a captain of a tanker, and around you submarines, frigates, and aircraft. What happened?
What did I wrong? What did I do wrong? But probably I don't know. Probably he was warned about some operation or something. So
maybe it's a part of battle games. It's a delivery of fuel for these ships in a.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Just coincidence, a tanker was going in. So he said, we'll use the tanker for cover. Now, tanker, I think this tanker had twin propellers. It had 2 propellers.
Mm-hmm.
And the water probably wasn't deep going into the harbor. So the submarine had to go between the propellers to get under the tanker. So very dangerous, turbulent, very dangerous operation.
Jar, do you remember this?
It was a stupid case.
Jar, do you remember this lieutenant, diving lieutenant, a lady?
Yeah, so the commandant pretended that he didn't know how to do the maneuver, but to give confidence to her, and she eventually achieved the goal.
Yeah. Actually, I like this moment very much. It's a good like example of manager skills, right? We used to say that Tom is nothing, he is nobody, but he actually used this card very well, right? He said three. I don't remember exact commands, but he said like 3% to the right, and she said, "Are you sure 3? Maybe 2." And he was continue make wrong orders. Leila, do you understand? It was like a kind of a teaching moment. So captain said, if you are not sure that you can do it, I do it for you. And he stayed there and start to make a wrong orders.
Okay. I
It
got it.
made her nervous.
And it's like it's in a military ship, right? There is a subordination, so lady cannot say you are doing nonsense, right? So it was a teaching moment. I like it. It's a good skill. And speaking about this tanker in a operational area, probably it's a. I think I was about to ask you. I think it's like a plot hole, because in Russia, for instance, if our military have some exercises, they close the area, so no ship, no like plane can go there.
Yeah.
Because we can see there are a lot of accidents, in the without war games, right? Teacherly, they smash each other. So, and the tanker, it will be a disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Unless they, I don't know. You're right. It doesn't make sense unless they
Yeah.
had no authority to stop civilian ships in the harbor. In the ocean they have authority, but in the harbor maybe they didn't have the authority to stop civilian ships. I don't know.
But I guess in any
You're
case, even if you don't have an authority, just if you warn that in this region we are going to play our war games, so civilian ship will avoid it without
Yeah.
any further notice.
Yeah.
It's kind of a strange thing.
Good
Okay,
point.
so two propellers, and it's my favorite scene of the movie, right? So small submarines, they need to sneak there. It was and huge tanker was like a whale, and they were like a small ship there, so they just hide immediately. I like it this moment. Yeah, very very good. So what happened?
For this trick, you had to calculate the distance between engines.
Yep.
How he calculated? I don't know.
Yes.
No ways.
How he knows that the
Without using the
distance
ping, without using the ping.
would be enough for submarines. How?
Just a movie,
Yeah.
What
I
else?
mean, they could have looked up the plans maybe on a computer and looked at the design drawings and said, oh, there's 50 feet between tip to tip. I don't know, but yeah, wouldn't want to guess.
Teacher, do you remember their electrician? I bet they don't have any computers.
It might be.
Vasants, please. Vasants? We lost Vasant. I think his picture is frozen.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's moving for me. Oh, Vasant. Yeah, Vasant is frozen. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So and then they found that tanker has another like trajectory, another way. So he like declining the way they need. So and what happened, Gerard? Do you remember?
They had to change their strategy. Either when they charged the torpedoes and went straight ahead to Norfolk to destroy the boat.
So they succeed, right? They succeed their mission.
Yeah, because they destroyed the boat. That's the main mission. And probably we forgot something. Do you know the moment that the sonar mimic a whale? They were on the ground, touching the floor of the ocean, and the submarine was just over them, and he was mimic the whale. So second display time.
Vova, do you remember this moment? Vova, do you remember when Sonar guy he pretended he's a whale? Do you remember?
Yes.
Can you show us how to be a whale?
Mm.
And he did it like a dance, right? He was not just making a sound. He was moving. He was something.
I watched the trailer. I watched the trailer.
It was weird.
But
Yeah.
I don't believe that you can trick, experienced sonar engineer with this crying. I would say.
Who knows? Yeah.
Okay, Vasants, are you with us?
Yes, yeah.
You wrote T in the chat, but I didn't have a chance to ask.
Yeah. Yes. I like the moment when everybody maintained the silence to avoid suspects suspicious activity. But the sonar guy, perfectly calculated the amount. Somebody slipped 45 cents or like that. How could he count the exact amount?
Then like a quarter and
was
two
so funny.
dimes.
Yeah.
What about this? How we call this shop? A kiosk? Can we say so in the submarine? So do you remember when they dropped the coin? It was a kind of a shop or something. He was going to buy something, a coffee or something. So it looked not natural. In the military, I guess we get everything just from the canteen. We don't buy it.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a bet.
I can't remember.
There was a guy that was a gambler.
Gambler. Okay, what else? What else we forgot? So eventually let's go to the final. So he won. He and his crew, they won in this battle game, right? So he was about to get a promotion, get a reward, and what he got, Sergey? What he got as a promotion?
Maybe after the battleship, and they have analyzed about the battleship, and they describe causes and consequences, and the vice president, the vice admiral congratulated the crew and captain, and he told, I don't give you the nuclear submarine type of Los Angeles. You will got a new nuclear submarine, Sea Wolf. Oh yeah, and new team. Oh please stay my old team with me.
Yeah, and you will get the best ship in the Navy and the best crew in the Navy. And he said, no, please, I want to keep my old crew. Would you say the same, Sergey? Would you take the same decision?
As a vice admiral,
as a captain, would you like to keep your crew?
maybe, but because he knows them, and he knows a good and bad quality of them. Maybe I added more disciplined soldiers and marines to submarine. But I thought the captain is main bad guy in this movie. It's not a contra-admiral and vice admiral, because he put a great risk his team. But I think why? Because he has big ambitions. But it was good decision. I don't like him.
I understand. He risked their lives for some war game, right?
I would say though that
we didn't have the real war. We didn't have to go inside to engine of tanker, but I wanted to have the captain of
I understand. Yeah, I understand. Teacher Lee, you were about to say.
I was going to say that any commanding officer has to have those qualities. You've got to be willing to take a risk, especially if you're outnumbered, you're overwhelmed. You have to be willing to take a risk sometimes. So I think any CO is going to have those qualities.
I see. Vova, let me ask you, what is your favorite? What was your favorite scene in the movie?
My favorite scene in the movie was when all crew became pirates.
Became pirates. Why they became pirates?
To
Okay, I can help you to get rid of executive officer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, remember the XO tried to mutiny. He tried to take over the ship. The captain's crazy. We need to put him in the brig. Let me be the captain.
Sergey, how would you describe this ritual of pirates? What they did? What did they do?
It's an old story from the pirate ships when a bad guy who stolen something from this members of crew, or he was can't fight with different pirates, and the team solved to kill him. But we have to some omens, and they wanted to make a food for sea, for ocean, and they built planking, two planking, and they put cover for his eyes, and they
Tied his hands behind his back.
Yeah, and go, and go, and they put on this blanket, and after that, bad guy went to the ocean.
Yeah. Teacher Lee helped us with expressions in our chat. So they blindfolded him, right? Teacher Lee blindfolded, and it was a walk in the plank ritual, right? So you have the plank and you walk it on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I like it, the ritual, yeah, but especially because it's ended in a good way. Wasans, how it's ended? Do you remember?
Which one?
This walking on the plank, how it's ended?
Walking on the plank.
Where they all were pirates. Do you remember? They were.
Yeah, it was like almost like an execution. They were trying to push him off from the submarine. So everybody wore weird costumes. Someone wore a cool drink, soft drink cans around his waist, and someone had a parrot. Is that right?
Parrot, yeah.
Yeah, a parrot on his shoulder. It was fun. And when they pushed him off from the submarine, it was another boat, a country fisherman, I think. They helped the captain to send him to the shore. So,
I like this part of the parrot, right? It was just a chicken from the kitchen, and it was tied by a rope to the shoulder. And they say, "I'm a pirate. It's a pirate, and it's my parrot." So.
And the XO was incredulous. You can't do this. This is the modern Navy. You can't do this.
Well, in his shoes, I was surprised as well, you know. What's that, please?
Yeah, from the beginning, he overreacts, he behaves like some drama artist, stage artist. You're like, oh, you literally missed that point, something like that. So it doesn't.
I cannot help to make a joke. He was in like an Indian movie, right?
Yeah. Over exaggeration.
Okay, what else we forgot, Gerard? You usually.
Yes, I think the captain of the submarine said down the periscope too many times. I mean, you only can say down the periscope when you are under the surface, when you, because you cannot use the periscope inside underwater.
You can, but we don't normally do it. And if you raise it underwater, you got to be going slow. You can't be going 20 knots and raise the scope, it'll bend. You got to be going real slow, but you can raise it underwater and look at the fish if you want to. We actually we raise it underwater as we're coming up to periscope depth. So we're looking around as we come up to make sure there's no ship up there.
Okay.
Yeah, so we do raise it underwater, but not too deep, and we start looking around. What's scary is you come up at nighttime and you raise the periscope, you know, while you're underwater and you're looking around, you don't see anything. And when your periscope comes out of the water, you go around real quick to look for ships, and suddenly you see this big light, and you go, "Oh my God! Emergency dive!" And you find out later it was the moon. Dead ball. That's happened before too.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we covered the plot, right? So it's a happy end. It's a yes.
Yep. One thing that every crew member had their own unique use or skill that helped the mission. Stepanek was the engine man, and he was the physical guy. He was the damage control guy. So whenever there was a pipe break and water was flooding into the sub and they could sink, he was the guy that would charge forward and he would, you know, fix the leak. At one point, he used Emily Lake's bra to rig some kind of a repair, but he was the damage control guy. When the ship was in trouble from damage, he took charge and took care of the problem. And we actually have wooden cones on the submarine that you can hammer into a pipe hole to stop the water from coming into the ship. Crude, but it works.
Yeah, it was because wood, when it's getting wet, it's increase in the volume. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sergey, something?
Yes, we forgot about case in the second nuclear submarine when Contra-Admiral told to Captain, "Now I am a commander of this submarine." "Oh, I'm sorry, sir, it's my submarine. I'm a Contra-Admiral." I can't imagine in the real army when the high officer go to command the crew or something if we don't have the killing captain. But it's a main rules of army. It's a subordination. It's my team. It's your team. But I can't imagine it.
So yeah, I understand what you're talking about. In Russian army, if you are replaced by someone, let's say by your superior officer, it means you dismissed. It means you dismissed now for the fuser, I don't know, tribunal or something. That's the only case.
It implies you're incompetent. You can't do your job. Yeah. Now, normally, if a VIP comes on board that's a higher rank than the CO, normally the CO is still the boss of the ship. And the VIP just tells the CO, "I want this done," and the CO makes it happen. So normally the CO is still always in charge, but he has to listen to the orders from the VIP. But this Graham was so arrogant, so hateful. He said, "CO, I'm taking charge of your boat." That's bad protocol. He's got the authority to do it, but it's bad protocol.
Yeah,
it's like slapping the captain in the face.
How will they separate the responsibility of the bad decision? Who is crew's captain or vice president or vice admiral? But it's a pity problem, I think.
Yeah, but in this case, Sergey, so CO not in charge anymore. So he don't have any responsibility. So
he's an observer. Yep, he's an observer at this point.
Actually, he's like dismissed. You know, you are retired now.
But after that, the captain lost his authority among the crew.
Right. It's what we're talking about. It's a bad decision, bad protocol. It should not happen. But this rear admiral, he was like on the spur of the moment. He was reacting very bad.
He was obsessed. Yeah, obsessed.
Yeah. But Gerard?
Another thing it didn't add up was, the crew repaired the submarine. So painted the submarine.
Yeah.
And also, the submarine should be in a dry dock because you only can paint half of it,
Exactly. Yeah.
It was
As if-
very, very rusty. And I saw that this submarine had too many holes, and you can see through the holes. Is it normal that, Teacher Lee?
I'm not sure what you mean by see through the hole.
The holes in the submarine. I don't know if the holes is to fill the submarine with water to get to some submerge.
I have seen this before on some pictures. So there is like usually do we call this a hull, right?
Hole,
Met-
there's a
hole.
yeah, there's two holes. There's the
Yeah.
inner hull holds pressure,
Mhm.
and the outer hull is what we can fill with water or blow
Yeah.
the water out, and that's what makes the submarine go up and down.
So Gerard, if I'm right, so these holes they were in the like upper hole, in the outer hole. So to get water inside, and probably they can be closed. So I watched on some pictures these holes before on the old submarines. Leila, you are silent.
Yeah. I was going to ask, when you say hole, it is like the body.
The skin, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Now the way it works is the inner hull is pressure tight. That's where the people are. There should be no water coming in through that hull, okay? The outer hull is open on the bottom, so water can go in and out of the outer hull.
Okay.
At the top of the outer hull, we have valves that we can open and close.
Okay.
So to go up, we close the valves at the top and we blow air into the outer hull at the top, and we push the water out of the outer hull and the submarine floats.
Okay.
To go underwater, we open the vents and the air comes out the top and water comes in the bottom and fills the outer hull with water, and the submarine sinks.
Okay.
So that's how submarines go up and down, using air to push the water out of the outer hull, or venting the air to let water come into the outer hull.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, let us make some slides. Maybe we can see this house on the picture. Down Periscope. Another piece of art.
This is a missile submarine because it's long.
Mhm.
That middle part is like 12 to 16 nuclear missiles. So this is not what Dodge had. He had a little short, small diesel submarine, but this is a nuclear missile submarine.
Wow.
Okay, let's go to the first one. Leila, would you please start? Do you like the uniform?
I think it's like the Navy commanders or something like that. They're
Yep.
just talking about the war game. Maybe, I'm not sure as I haven't watched it. Yeah, high-ranking officers, and they look very serious, and they look really smart, and I can see a lot of nice brass, I think. Yes, brass.
Things are made out of brass on submarines, the silverware.
Yeah, I like it, Teacher Lee. And they are drinking coffee. It reminds me of Turkish coffee because it looks like the Turkish coffee cup, Gerard, if you remember.
I remember.
Yeah. And there are lots of, just things they are doing. I think they are looking at the paper and just, I don't know, they are serious.
Yeah, they're talking business, right?
Now you can see that the coffee cups have a saucer underneath.
Yeah, this is
So
Turkish way.
So if you spill your coffee a little bit, the saucer keeps from making a mess.
Mhm.
There's 2 submarine models. Can you find them?
Really?
Yes. In the middle of the
Funny.
table,
Mhm.
the top,
And behind the head of the table.
the admiral, behind the admiral.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
If you
coffee
did-
table. Mhm.
Yeah, if you didn't recognize the good admiral, he played in Men in Black. If you
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
recognize him, he was the actor that played the boss in Men in Black.
Yep, exactly. Okay, let's go to the next one. Our protagonist. Vova, would you please describe this picture?
The Tom, the the Tom Dodge
Mhm.
wants to play golf,
Golf. Mhm.
and he mm, mm, he
So he moved his submarine close to the coast, to the earth, right?
Mhm.
Make
yes
to make a hit and put his a ball probably, right? Usually in a golf, is it a ball in a golf?
Golf ball. Yep, golf ball.
To put golf ball in this golf hole. I don't know the terms of golf. Yeah, and speaking about his pants, it looks like a Scotland Scotland skirt, or how we call it.
Kill?
They might be just golfing pants. I don't know if golfing pants are baggy or not, but the green socks sounds like St. Patrick's Day. I don't know. So maybe he's Irish.
Yeah, anyway, uniform is strange, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, anything else there? So, how we call this is I don't know the name. I don't know nothing about golf. So probably it's a hammer. No, how we call
We
it?
call it a club.
Club. Okay, it's a
A
club.
golf. Yeah, he's got a golf club bag,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and he used a golf club to hit the golf ball.
Mhm.
And the area where you hit the ball from is called the tee. So he's hitting the ball from the tee.
I see.
Normally, you have like a little piece of wood that the ball sits on top of. That
Mhm.
little piece of wood's called a golf tee. So you put the ball on top of it, and you hit the ball toward the
Mhm.
hole.
Leila, do you understand that this submarine is a small like place, right? So you don't have a lot of place. Would you bring your set of clubs, golf clubs, to the submarine?
I was thinking, you know what? I said the deck must be slippery. I was
Yeah.
thinking,
Yep.
and
Yep.
how dare they? Because how dare they, play golf? Because there is no fence they can hold if they slip.
Mhm.
I
But
don't know. I
they-
wouldn't know.
Actually, they don't play golf on the deck, Leila. They are close to the coast, so they try to put the ball on the coast, on the yacht, on the
So
beach.
disguise, it's a kind of pretending.
Yes, it's kind of they kind of playing, but not on the deck, not on the deck. Just childish play or something.
Okay.
He's hitting the ball somewhere over the ocean towards land.
Mm.
Okay.
There's no
I love
golf
the green
course.
socks, Lee. It's so funny.
Okay, the conversation with the captain. Sergey, do you remember the content of this conversation?
I don't remember the topic of conversation, but it looks like a room in a submarine because on the center of photo we can see two bulbs, red and yellow, red and white. I think it's white. When white lamp lights, we don't have the problem. When we have
So-
the right light, we have the problem, and it would be bad now.
It's
for
it's
all-
it's interesting. So do you think it's a kind of an indicator of alarm or something, right? But
Maybe
I would think that
attack
it's a
or
day.
problem.
I would think it's a day and night. You know, in the night you have a red light. In the day you have a white light. I don't know exactly.
We have that too, yeah. Rig for red, rig for red.
Rig
Means
for
it's-
red.
It's
Mhm.
nighttime. We turn off the white lights and turn on the red lights. We do that because if you go up at nighttime with the periscope, if you had white lights and you look at the periscope at nighttime, you couldn't see anything. So red lights, it doesn't destroy your night vision. So when you look at the periscope at night with red lights around you, you can see fine.
Mhm. I see.
So there's a reason we do that. Yeah.
Teacher Lee, I have a questions about submarines. If we have alarm, have we closed the isolated spaces? And in Russian movie about submarines, I saw they have circle doors, and when they have alarm, they close the doors and rotate because it's a
Correct.
safe rules.
Correct. We do that. The submarine's divided into compartments. And if the whole submarine floods, you're dead. So when you have flooding in one compartment, we have to close all those hatches so that only part of the submarine will flood. And that way you might be able to get to the surface. So yeah, we have those airtight hatches that can limit the extent of flooding if you have a hole in the submarine due to a battle explosion.
Mhm.
Yep, those are real hatches. We normally leave them open, but at battle stations, we'll also close all of those and dog them shut real tight.
Mhm. Mhm.
So if you want to go from compartment to compartment, you've got to open the hatch, go through, and close the hatch. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Sergey?
Yes, and we can see two pipes, and red pipes and blue or green. I don't know. It's a gray pipe. I don't understand what is it. Maybe it's a gas or oxygen. Fire pipe.
Yeah. Fire
Yeah.
water. Yeah.
Yeah, and the funny moment, and above the captain of nuclear submarine, we can see I don't know what is happen device for opening opening a door in Russia we can use, but this is we can see two device around space for doors and for right hand and left hand. And,
Like a door
you can
doorknob.
put and go.
I see. I understand. So it's like
Door frames. Yeah.
handles, right?
Yeah.
Doorknobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Within a compartment, we might have small office spaces with a regular door, but that's not watertight. That's inside the bigger compartment. The CO and XO have their own private room.
Mhm.
And the officers on my submarine, we had 3 officers in a little tiny room, smaller than a bathroom. 3 officers in a room as small as a bathroom. So
Mhm.
the XO and CO had their own nice big room.
So be a boss. It's better, right?
Yep, be a boss.
Okay,
boss.
let's go to the next one. Gerard, it's for you, please.
Yes, this is the submarine before it was painted. So this is the holes that I was talking about. You know that there are many holes, small holes.
Oh yeah, those.
So even in some images, I could see that you could see through them. You know, you could see the other side. Is that right, Teacher Lee?
I don't know. Yeah, this is the diesel sub. I don't know what those holes. I'm not sure why the holes are there. I don't know. It's strange to me too.
And also, I noticed that this submarine has a sort of machine gun in the
Mhm.
front top.
Anti-aircraft. Yeah.
Anti-aircraft, okay. So do the nuclear submarines have that?
No, just the old new ones don't have it. New ones don't come to the surface. The old submarines actually had two operating modes. It could go underwater or it could be a surface ship. When it was on the surface, then they had that gun to shoot down airplanes that might spot them. So they couldn't be reported. Yeah.
When the submarine is faster, the submarine diesel in underwater or in the surface like a normal boat?
Now the diesel boats were designed really to be a surface ship that could go underwater. So it was faster on top of the water. It's not very aerodynamic. The nuclear submarines, the new submarines go faster underwater. That's why they're so round and smooth. Yeah. So faster underwater today.
And those boats behind the submarine, are they destroyers or frigates?
I can't tell. They look, yeah, I would say one of the two, destroyers or cruisers or frigates. Yeah.
Okay, speaking about this, I don't know, ladder or something. Is it a gangplank? How we call it?
We call it a gangplank.
Gangplank. Okay.
Ship to land. Yep. So we call that a gangplank.
Mm-hmm.
Usually the bottom end has wheels on it. So if the ship moves a little bit, the gangplank can roll.
I see. I can see two torpedoes behind the crew. They're green somehow, maybe to show that they're not real or something.
They might be green. They're different colors, torpedoes. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And the name of the place where the people are staying is the pier?
The pier or the dock, either one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the part of the submarine that sticks up above the flat part's called the conning tower. And that's where the periscope and antennas are.
Mm-hmm.
And they're inside the conning tower. That protects them from the ocean water as the ship moves forward. That keeps them from being bent. So the conning tower, the periscope and antennas are inside the conning tower for protection, and they just come out the top. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there are many ropes. Do you call that moor?
Ropes or mooring lines.
Mooring lines.
And on the dock, the lines are tied to bits or chocks. Those little posts on the dock are called bits or chocks, and that's what we tie the ropes to.
Mm-hmm. And usually you make a coils, right? Many coils of this rope on this bead.
Yeah, there's one kind of a bit that's called a cleat. It looks like
Right?
two little things that stick out like this, and we wrap the rope around the two ends like a figure eight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can see those on the very edge of the dock.
Mm-hmm.
But the other with the two bits that are like two little posts, we wrap the rope in a figure eight around those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Navy have a lot of traditions, right? Because it's a long profession for centuries, and sailors have many special things. I would call special traditions.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
What they use to protect the submarine from getting rust, because
paint.
Just paint.
Primer. We have, just like in a home, you have a primer, and then you put paint on top of the primer. Yeah, and you got to hang over the edge of the boat to paint it. So it's you can paint some of it outside of a dry dock, but to paint the bottom, you've got to go into dry dock. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go forward. Lieutenant. Okay, electrician. Osans, would you like to please describe this picture?
Yes, the electrician is testing the wires, and saying the first one was cold one and the second one was hot. He was electrocuted, I think. Then He's holding a multimeter. I hope. Multimeter. Mm,
Some kind of indicator, right? You put it
Yeah.
there and you see if there electricity or not.
yes. And his tools bag behind him, and a belt. I hope it's a leather belt. And I don't know the thing behind the toolbox. Is that a blouse or a something?
Yellow,
Okay.
You mean yellow one, right?
Yeah, yellow one. Okay, is that life vest?
Looks like a holder for tools to me, if you ask
Yeah.
me.
We call it a pouch, a tool pouch.
Tool pouch.
Okay.
Okay, what was wrong with electrician? What do you think?
I don't know. Why he could not guess the perfect port or something. But he still manages to connect. He has that brain, to connect two wires through his body, but he do not have the other knowledge. So.
Sergey, you used to work as an electrician, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about this thing to be electrocuted or how? Is it a good one? Good.
Electrocuted.
Yeah, when you
Electrocute. Yeah.
electrocute.
There's shock and electrocution. When you're shocked, it's like, oh, and you
yeah.
live. When you're electrocuted, you die.
okay.
So we don't want to be electrocuted.
Electroshock is okay.
Four similar cases in my career. It's not my very happy moments.
So you did not like it, like to have an electric shock?
A little.
But it seems to me that electrician from the board, he just enjoyed it. So he was looking for this process.
There's small electric shocks and there's big electric shocks. Now, I've had small electric shocks even in my home when something's not wired correctly or something, I touch a wire where I shouldn't. When you have an electrical shock, it's a weird feeling in your arm. It's like, and you can let go. But if it's a strong electric shock, your muscles actually clench and you can't let go. And you can die.
Absolutely.
You can die.
And that's why we teach our children. If you see someone who is touching the wire and looks like paralyzed, don't touch him. Take something wooden.
Go away.
Ivan, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Leila. If someone have some convulsions or something, don't touch him. Take something wooden and hit him.
Absolutely correct, Ivan. Absolutely correct.
Yeah, Layla, you have to. The human body is a chemical electric factory. Our body makes chemicals that produce electricity, and electrical pulses are what make our heart beat.
Yeah.
So if you touch an electrical thing and electricity goes through your body's little tiny electrical pulses no longer work, and that electricity can make your heart stop. It can make your muscles clench, and you can't let go, and you can die. So we say if you want to test a line for power, don't touch it like this, because if you touch it and it's electric, it may make you grab it, and now you're going to die. We say touch it like this, and that way, if it makes your fist clutch, you can pull your arm away. So some electrical safety.
I don't know why, but mommy told me a lot of times in the past, wear something plastic,
Rubber.
Rubber flip-flops or something like that. Yeah. I don't know.
Leila, just remember, take a chair or stool and hit with a stool, it's okay.
Okay, I will do that. I'll let you know.
Yeah. There are some materials that electricity can go through and some that it can't. So if you wear rubber gloves rubber blocks electricity flow.
Mhm.
So with rubber gloves, you're safe. If you wear rubber shoes, you're safe generally.
Mhm.
Wood, if it's dry wood, you can touch something with wood, it's okay. But if the wood is wet, the electricity will flow through the water in the wood. So don't touch electricity with wet wood, but dry wood's probably okay.
And speaking about this material, so we have we call them dielectric or not? The material that does not let the
Yeah,
electricity pass.
We normally call them insulators or insulation.
Okay, insulation. Okay, probably a Russian word. We use dielectric and dielectric, something like this.
Yeah. Normally we say if it carries electricity, it's a conductor. If it blocks electricity, it's an insulator.
Okay.
There is a term dielectric material, but I'm not sure I forget what it means.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. Guy, what he's doing? Leila, would you please describe this one?
I'm just trying to guess, right? Could be sunbathing, wearing shorts, and I'm not sure if he's wearing boots or socks. I'm not sure. He looks like a stupid guy.
Leila, would you please guess why he can afford this? When everyone is walking, he is sunbathing. Why?
I don't know.
Okay, I have a tip for you. So, who was his father?
Don't tell me that the commander.
Yeah, the admiral.
Oh my God. What is he holding?
A mirror.
Oh, so the mirror reflects the sun.
Yeah, to face.
Actually, it's very popular in Europe, right? Right, Gerard? I can see many. I don't see people holding mirrors in Russia, but I saw them in Europe a lot. Yeah, so it's
Not in
why
Spain, at least. I don't see that because we have plenty of sun, so we don't
Yeah.
need mirrors to have a lot of sun.
But something to realize is that if you want to get a suntan, of course the sun hits your skin, right? If you have a reflector like a shiny metal or mirror, you'll get sun that might miss you can hit the mirror and shine back on you. So by having shiny things around you, you get more sunlight, so you tan faster.
yeah.
Wow.
And if you're
And-
on a beach, the
Mhm.
sand acts like a mirror for sunlight. So if you're on a beach, the sun can hit the sand and bounce up and hit you. So you can get burned even faster if you're on a beach because the sand acts like a mirror.
If I'm right, I understand that people use this mirror to have like a solid color, like without white areas.
Yeah, shadow areas. Yeah.
Shadow. So
Yeah.
that's the reason they need it like I don't know, the persistent.
That's why he's holding his neck like that then.
Yes.
Yeah, you can tan your neck and your chin, and sometimes the palm of your hands. You lay down like this, so your hands white. You know.
I remember when I was young, it was a popular joke to put something on a guy who is on the beach
Yeah.
to make a picture on him.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go forward. Okay, Vova, what is happening on this picture?
The Marty. Say cook. Second. Say
Class.
second class. That he
Like he puts everything in the wrong order, right?
yes.
He was Marty happy about this?
No.
He was upset, right? He was angry. He was yelling. Do you know what means yelling? It means wow, 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 wow. He was yelling on him, and he was unhappy. And do you remember what Cook did to to pay back, to answer. Remember?
He mm, mm,
He put some oil, something. Yes. Something on the floor and on the chair, so Marty like smashed it off the floor.
Yeah, lard is greasy and slippery, so he put lard on the floor. So when the guy came down the steps, he slipped and his chin went on the steps. That had to hurt.
Yeah. Okay, let me find something. Sergey, who is this guy? Could you tell us?
He's a mechanic who checks the engine, who check the place of torpedoes, and this moment he showed the pressure of their submarine. Okay, and can you see this wire? And this wire it's straight and
Straight.
straight. Please let's go to wait some minutes, and after that the wire was changed. And
Yeah. What
now
happens?
we will have the problem with our.
Yeah, this is real. As submarines round, as you go underwater, the sea pressure actually squeezes the hull smaller as you go deeper. So if you tie a string across wall to wall real tight on the surface, as you go down and the hull gets squeezed together, that string will sag in the middle because the walls are coming closer together. So it's kind of scary to see that. It's like, wow, you'll hear the bolts in the hull going.
Absolutely, I agree with teacher Lee. If you're 40 years old mariners and you have 20 years old experience, it's a good example. When you are a 20 years old guy and you saw the first time, it's I don't know, I can't imagine. Oh, we are dying.
Claustrophobic. You scare the new guy.
Yeah.
So yes, he shares some tricks, you know. So they are making decorations to look like a fisher ship or something. I'm scrolling through some slides to find something. Well, that was the shop I was talking about. Do you remember when he was buying some gum or something?
Yeah, we call that a ship's store.
Ship store. Okay.
Yeah. Only surface ships have that.
Yeah, strange. Okay, let me ask someone why, Gerard, why is this guy has blocked his nose?
Okay, so to prevent him from sneezing.
Not really.
Yes, or not making noise.
Wasans, do you remember? Let me ask Wasans.
Yes, actually the cook.
Okay,
everywhere, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, during the silence period, cook probably ate something wrong and farted, and crew members suffered from this.
Okay, yeah.
Teacher, don't take it personal, but it's what we call American humor in Russia.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Okay, this one. Gerard, could you please describe this one?
With the sonar mimicking a whale.
Yeah.
Yes, also, but it looks like more like a dolphin, you know. And this sound to me more like a dolphin.
Actually, in this exact scene, he's not mimicking a whale yet.
He's making to do that. He's asking him to do that, and he eventually understood that he had to mimic the whale. I thought he had a recording of the whale, and he could, put the cassette and the sound. It would be something more realistic.
Yeah. They were trying not to speak, but you can whisper. Whispering's okay, but he was trying to tell him mimic a whale without speaking.
It was funny, and another guy helped him. It was funny. Vasant, please.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say. The captain was trying to imitate the whale, and the other guy comes from nowhere, and he is also trying to convey the message. It was so fun to watch.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, a mutiny attempt, if I'm right, teacher Lee? A mutiny, we call it?
Mutiny, yeah.
A mutiny attempt. So he tried to dismiss a captain from his post. And the consequences. Vasant, would you like, please, to describe these consequences?
Yeah, this is where they are trying to throw him off from the ship, and you can see everybody is in the weird costumes like pirates. And, the guy is using tins and cards, I hope, around his neck, and African sort of costumes on the left, and
Can you see how we call it? Happy Roger? Or how Merry Roger? I forgot.
Jolly Roger.
Jolly Roger.
We call it the skull and crossbones.
Skull and crossbones. Yes, this black and white flag, right? So I'm suspicious. Why on the American military ship they have a Roger?
Yeah, they wouldn't normally have that. Yeah.
Vova, please.
I see that electric have the protease in his leg.
Electrician has a prosthetic leg, right? A prosthetic leg.
Yes.
Or he pretended that he has a, I don't know, maybe it's only in Russian movies, but in Russian movies, pirates always have a wooden leg or something, some injuries.
Yeah.
So electrician played very well. Well, do you think that he cut his own leg? cut off his own leg for real, to pretend he's a pirate?
No.
Okay, let's. It's what teacher Lee told us about this, mainly man guy who can fix the damage. Yeah. How you call this thing? Bra? You said?
That we would call that a clamp.
Clamp. Okay.
Clamp.
Okay, and the last one. So the winners. Gerard, how would you describe them?
Yeah, that's curious. The guy, the mechanic, doesn't wear a uniform. I don't know whether he would be allowed to do that.
No, wouldn't be allowed.
And how do you call the uniform for special occasions like this? Do you have a name?
We just call them dress uniform.
Dress uniform, okay.
In Russia, we call this parade uniform, like for parades or something.
Yeah, parade dress. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, the cook is very fat. I don't think he should be enlisted in this physical form.
Yeah, today he wouldn't be allowed in. We have weight limits. Yeah.
Okay, that was the last one.
We forgot something, the song at the end, Village People song in the Navy. In the Navy.
Yeah. I like that song, yeah. Yeah, the Navy at one point actually paid the Village People, a singing band, to write a song to recruit people to join the Navy. So In the Navy was actually a Navy recruiting song written to get people excited about joining the Navy.
I didn't know this. Nice.
And now it's a classic. It's a classic.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you watch the Village People, they dress up in different costumes, like an Indian, a sailor, a cowboy. So in the submarine, when it showed all of them in different costumes, that was kind of like the Village People. And then at the end of the movie, surprise, the Village People perform.
Okay, so we have like a series of submarine movies. This one was a comedy, right? Before that, we had like adventure with Sean Connery, right? What do you think, guys, if we have another movie about submarines, but a tragedy for this time? K-74 or something. It's about nuclear submarine. Sergey, do you remember this movie? Nuclear
Yes,
submarine.
I remember, and I don't know. Did we watch Das Boot, the German movie about submarine?
No, not yet. So, but would you like
Yeah,
it?
we have a lot of opportunities.
Teacher Lee wrote another one. Grey Lady Down, right? It's Crimson Tide. Wow, Crimson Tide. I like this. It was about It was about like a choice we made, right? About it was a philosophical one. I remember this.
Well, it's where they receive a garbled message,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the CO thinks they're telling us to shoot nuclear missiles. And the XO, Denzel Washington, said, "No, Captain, I don't think that's what it said." So they almost have a mutiny where they're fighting over whether to launch nuclear missiles or not. So it has a lot of suspense.
Yeah. Okay. So let's make another submarine movie for the next time. Let's make fun out of this. Okay, thank you very much for coming. I enjoyed it very well. Thank you, Teacher Lee, for your support. And bye.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye. See you next week.